Hey, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my weekly photo chats. And I want to start by saying thank you to all my supporters and thank you for being a part of my show. I love having listeners, I love having viewers, and we communicate and create a community of people interested in photography, film photography, and thank you for being a part of that. You make it possible. If you're not supporting, please hit the supportkenneth.com link or hit the Patreon and throw a few dollars my way. It would really help me keep making these shows. So today I want to talk about the photo I missed. About a week ago, I went over to some friend's house. Mary Lee and I went over. They're part of our quarantine couple, the one family that we kind of go over there and we have dinner with sometimes. They work from home, we work from home. We're trying to be very cautious with this pandemic situation. And Mary Lee and I bought a backgammon set for Christmas. We were thinking we're not going to spend a lot of money, we're not going to go shopping, so let's just order one backgammon kit and we'll play backgammon at night sometimes. And we've become backgammon fiends and we love it. And we have a little light that we mount onto the side of the case and we have this little light shining on it. We darken all the rest of the room light. And we pour a glass of wine and a beer. It's a great, great time. And if you are a backgammon fan, maybe give it a try. I find it to be a lot of fun and competitive. But we were wondering if we were playing it right. So our friends Don and Kathy, they were like, you know what? We'll go over to dinner, but we've talked to them and they say they play backgammon. Let's play backgammon while we're there. So we did. And we said after dinner, hey, can we get the backgammon out? And they said, well, we have two sets, so we'll bring them both out and we'll play, two single games since there's four of us. And I brought this Kodak Retina 3C with me, which is a beautiful case. It's got the big viewfinder. It's a wonderful camera. A wonderfully fast 50 millimeter f2 lens. Their kitchen with the lights on is plenty bright. I could probably shoot at a 60 at 2.8. So I brought this. Got to the house, said hello, gave hugs, laid it on the counter in their kitchen. And we made dinner, we had dinner, and we sat down at the kitchen table in the next room, I guess at the dining room table, and the backgammon set came out. And there were some amazing moments. There were moments where Kathy and Mary Lee were laughing and shoulder to shoulder and joking, and we were all having a pretty good time. And the next day, all I could think about is there are no photos of any of that. Because this, is nice as it is, was sitting on the counter. And I was competitive, and I love to play games. And game nights are a fun, fun way to spend an evening for me. We also had beers and wines. And the camera wasn't by my side. The camera wasn't within reach. The camera was in a case sitting in the other side of the kitchen, which is like not even bringing it at all. It was useless to me. This camera doesn't do me any good sitting on the counter like that. This camera needs to be out of the case, and this needs to be at my side and sitting on the table like this with the exposure set for 60 at 2.8. So if something happens, I can literally just point, focus, and shoot. But it didn't happen. And I purposely took this camera because I was reading that day about Allen Ginsberg and how his book Photographs, published in 1990, that I had recently picked up, how he had shot with a 3C he picked up at a pawn shop for $13. And I thought, okay, I'll bring the 3C and that'll be a fun night. We'll shoot film. I always like to shoot film when I bring a camera with my friends. And it really shows that the camera you have with you, if it's not physically next to you, it's not with you. If it's in a case, if it's in a bag by the door, it's useless. The only camera that matters is the camera that's next to you, turned on, ready to use. Or over your shoulder, or around your neck, turned on, ready to use. Not wrapped up in its never-ready case, not placed in a place that's safe and out of reach. And the next day I really was. I had it was like almost like a hunger pang for the photos that I saw in my head that I'm like, why didn't I have the camera over there? But I was playing the game too, so I was kind of engrossed with being present for the game, and I really enjoyed that bit of play. So that has something to do with it. That's part of, I can see where it happened that I missed it. But when it comes down to it, the camera has to be in your hands. It can't be laying like this, closed up. It can't be in the case. That's pretty, but it doesn't do any good. It needs to be open and ready to shoot. And then you can actually make photographs. And I won't let that happen again. And certainly with a digital camera, if I had the Nikon with a 28 autofocus, or if I had the Fuji, it probably would have been by my side because it's usually in my coat pocket or my coat pocket. And then I might have just pulled it out and shot because it'd be right there. But because this came and I dropped it onto the counter in their kitchen, it never got brought out and put to use. And then as I was leaving, I picked it up, I grabbed it, I noticed that I never opened it, and I took it home. And it was like not even having a camera at all. And it was one of those things where it's like, you can't help but think, what good is a camera if you're not shooting pictures with it? What is the, reason to photograph? You're photographing your friends. You're going to get them eating their dinner. You're going to get them cooking. Sometimes I do that. You're going to get them joking in the kitchen. Maybe sometimes. Playing a game seems like a pretty visual thing. A backgammon game with lots of pieces and places to, different people in different positions. That seems like a really good photo opportunity. And it's one that I won't have because I didn't take any pictures. So don't miss that shot. Have the camera with you, next to you, around your neck, on the table, with you, ready to go. And you can make that photograph every single time. All right, that's today's photography talk. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. If you can support a Patreon contribution, I welcome and I thank you so much. I'll be back next week. We'll talk photography. As always, here's the good light.